The Treaty of Trianon is the peace treaty concluded at the end of World War I by the Allies on one side and Hungary is seen as a successor of Austria-Hungary on the other. It established the borders of Hungary and regulated its international situation. Hungary lost over two-thirds of its territory and about two-thirds of its inhabitants under the treaty. This made them eager to prove themselves and also defensive about lagging behind Western development elsewhere. Among the most notable of the thousands of museums and cultural centers are the Hungarian National Museum, the Hungarian National Gallery, the Museum of Fine Arts, and the Museum of Applied Arts, all in Budapest, plus the Christian Museum in Esztergom. Budapest is situated on both banks of the Dunubi River, a few miles downstream from the Dunubi Bend. It is a magnificent city even compared with the great pantheon of European capitals, and it has been an anchor of Hungarian culture since its inception. In spite of national tragedies during the last 4 centuries, Hungarians remain confident and are proud of their achievements in the science, the scholarship, and the arts. From its inception in the 10th century, Hungary was a multi-ethnic country. Major territorial changes made it ethnically homogeneous after World War I. However, and more than four-fifths of the population is now ethnically Hungarian and speaks Hungarian as a mother tongue. The modern political system in Hungary contained elements of autocracy throughout the 19th and 20th centuries, but in the period of 1867 and 1948, it had a functioning parliament with a multi-party system and a relatively independent judiciary. After the Revolution of 1956, it was reorganized as the Hungarian Socialist Workers' Party, which survived under the fall of communism in 1989.
Culture of Hungary. The rich culture of Hungary is strong in folk traditions and has its own distinctive style, influenced by the various ethnic groups including the Roma people. Hungary is a proud country where Eastern Europe meets the West. Its stunning capital of Budapest, once known as the Paris of the East, the mighty Dunubi River, and flat countryside with rolling hills in the distance, paint a unique picture of this country's beautiful landscape. In the Hungarian countryside, it's commonplace to catch a glimpse of some Hungarian culture festivals, which usually revolve around food. Cultural milieu. The cultural milieu of Hungary is a result of the diverse mix of genuine Hungarian peasant culture and the cosmopolitan culture of an influential German and Jewish urban population. Both of the coffee houses meeting place for the intellectuals and the music of the Roma gypsies also have had an impact. Cultural life traditionally has been highly political since national culture became the sine qua non of belated nation building from the early 19th century. Theatre, opera, and literature in particular played crucial roles in developing national consciousness. Poets and writers, especially in crisis situations, became national heroes and prophets. Governments also attempt to influence cultural life through subsidy and regulation. During the state socialist era, culture was strictly controlled. Party interference was influenced by ideological principles and mass culture was promoted. Hungary is a landlocked country located in Central Europe with a diverse culture milieu. Throughout history, there has been a constant struggle for Hungarians to find their own voice and identity while under the control of various forces such as the Ottoman Empire, the Habsburgs, and the Soviet Union. Today, these struggles continue to influence Hungarian society and attitudes. These are the core concepts of Hungary: hospitality, Hungaricum, somberness, sentimentality, adaptability, and pride. Religion. Hungary claims no official religion and guarantees religious freedom. More than one-third of the people are Roman Catholic, most of them living in the western and northern parts of the country. About one-tenth of the population are Calvinists, principally members of the Reformed Church in Hungary, concentrated in eastern Hungary. Lutherans constitute the next most significant minority faith, and relatively smaller groups belong to various other Christian denominations, Greek or Byzantine Catholics, Eastern Orthodox, and Unitarians. The Jewish community, which constituted 5% of the population before World War II, was disseminated by the Holocaust and is now much smaller.
So next is the three tourist attractions of Hungary. The first tourist attraction is Buda Castle, Budapest. So Buda Castle, Budapest is built on the site a palace destroyed during the Ottoman Empire siege of 1686. A trip to Budapest is incomplete if you don't cross to the Buda side and visit one of the city's most marvelous attractions. Buda Castle Royal Palace or Buda Castle Palace with the Hungarian name of Dunubi River is a historic castle and palace complex in Budapest. Once the residence of Hungarian kings, it is worth visiting because the architectural richness of this royal complex knows no bounds, and you'll discover many beautiful package, sculpture, and monuments while exploring its grounds. Also, Buda Castle is the palace where you can find of the city's leading art and cultural institutions, and just like all of the other attractions of Budapest. Castle Hill, Buda Castle is known for its amazing views, and it's great place to take panoramic photos of the city's best side. Because of this beauty and historical story, UNESCO credited it as a World Heritage Site and is one of the most famous and visited attractions in Budapest. And the second attraction is the Dunubi River. Dunubi River is the one of the best sunset views of the river and of both Buda and Pest is from the Freedom Bridge. Also, the Dunubi River is the second longest river found in the continent of Europe after the infamous Volga. The river struts on the Black Forest of Germany up to the Black Sea. Just the thought that the water in the Dunubi River is traveling 10 countries makes any of the persons seeing it flutter. Aside from the Dunubi River being an important transport route for the whole of Europe, and is designated as corridor of the European Union, tourists visit it because of its beauty. The view from the river makes it the most romantic river in the world, and the lights at night makes your memories an even memorable one. The third tourist attraction is Agtelok National Park and Caves. Agtelok National Park and Caves is one of the largest and most impressive stalactite caves anywhere in Europe, and the largest in Hungary. Also, people visit the Agtelok National Park and Cave as it is famous for its unique natural and cultural assets. Agtelok National Park is the first Hungarian national park that has the main task of protecting the unique nature of the place and also develop the ecotourism. The park is very eye-pleasing for its natural beauty, but above all, the cave is the most fascinating reason why people go and visit it. The unusual ornaments of the caves are the result of the work of many millions of water drops, which have been created in various colors and shapes. It is no wonder that beautiful things is worth the time.
The famous food in Hungary are goulash or gulyas, halazel, and langos. Goulash or gulyas is a national dish in Hungary. The origins of goulash have been traced to the 9th century to stews eaten by Magyar shepherds. And goulash is a chunks of beef and vegetables are cooked with a dash of quintessential paprika, literally meaning herdsmen's. This dish was traditional cooked over open fire, and it tastes localized in a midway riff between a soup and a stew. The paprika gives the necessary hotness to the beef, which balances the bluntness of the veggies. And the second one is halazail, or the fisherman's soup. It is a popular celebratory dish often served during Christmas Eve, a traditional soup enjoyed both by locals and famed with the tourists. And halazail, or the fisherman's soup, is a thick red color soup made with an assortment of a river fish and lot of paprika. And it tastes like another recipe what is a traditional cook in an open oven. This dish is famous for its spicy taste and the authentic fishy aroma and the beautiful texture. And the last one is langos, a traditional favorite in Hungary. Hungarian villagers bake their bread in brick ovens. They save a little bit of the dough to make a breakfast treat called langos. And langos is a deep-fried bread topped with sour cream and cheese. And it tastes like just how bite you will realize how simplicity of the flavors make a treat for the taste of the buds. The famous drink in Hungary is Palanka. Palanka is a national drink in Hungary. And Palanka is an integral part of Hungarian drinking culture. And Palanka is a fruit brandy that put in frankly could well topple a horse. It's potent, typically available in bars at 40%, but easily reaching the lofty heights of 80 to 90% if you're lucky enough to get hold of a homemade brew. The famous dessert in Hungary are palaksenta and kortoszkalaks. Palaksenta is a rolling the filled grapes up or folding them into half and rolling them up on the shorter side. Palaksenta is the Hungarian version of crepes. A butter, flour, milk and eggs is cooked on a hot surface and eaten with a sweet filling. Even though crepes are traditionally French and very common all around the world, Hungarians are served them with their own twist. Palaksenta are very easy to find anywhere in Hungary. When sold at festivals or parades, keep in mind that Hungarian grandmother probably woke up at 5 in the morning to prepare in advance hundreds of empty palaksenta to be warmed up and filled during the day. And the second one is kortoszkalaks. It's a tube-shaped pastry popularly known as chimney cake. Traces its origin to the medieval Shigale land.
Privacy. Data privacy and data protection. It is highly important to protect the core of the data protection legislation when implementing these discretionary rules. The General Data Protection Degree provides a unique opportunity to establish strong and integrated implementation mechanisms. In order for General Data Protection Degree to establish the highest level of data protection guarantees. Airlines. Malev, Hungarian Airlines. The airline was founded in 1946. Between then and 1989. After 66 years of almost continuous operation, Malev will no longer take off. Wizz Air. The airline was established in September 2003. A Hungarian ultra-low-cost carrier with its head office in Budapest. Like other low-cost carriers, has a business model based on the economic of scale.